do you think about Wikipedia? Do you think Wikipedia is curated? Yes, I can see the answers are still pouring in. Very good. That makes us, a very interactive audience. So what about Wikipedia? Do you think Wikipedia is curated? Any of you, any answers? Is Wikipedia curated? And if it is curated by whom? Okay, we need to know who is curating Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is curated by anyone from anywhere. Now, do you think there is a problem with this? Yes. Now, anyone from anywhere may not be a professional or an expert in that topic. So if the data goes from his desk, it's only going to be copy pasted and added there as a valuable database. It is not going to be, evaluated for its authenticity. And that is why it's going to be difficult for you to trust content from Wikipedia. Yes, can you see here? This is not what I am saying, but this is what the disclaimer says, that we do not expect you to trust us. So next time you use Google or Wikipedia for any of your assignments, yes, I leave it as an open-ended question for you to understand and to actually evaluate whether you should be using it for your content or you should be looking for well authenticated or better public databases. Okay, so what happens when you cannot trust the content on a particular public database? Obviously, the content will vary from time to time and from article to article. Now, because it can be edited by anyone at any time, it may be prone to errors. However, you need to understand here that there are helpful external links at the end of the article that are provided. And those we call as back references or cross references, which we can definitely refer to, yes, while we are referring to this database. So what do you think? Would Albert Einstein use Wikipedia? Yes. What do scientists use? Do they use Wikipedia and Google? Where do major breakthroughs and minor breakthroughs in science get published? Yes, I'm sure you're all guessing it but unable to give the answer. The answer is scientific journals. Yes. Now, in scientific journals, I have taken a few examples here of Nature, Cell, Science. And if you can see here, there is a journal of 1913 that has been kept here for reference. Now, this is to tell you that if you want to make a career for yourself in basic sciences, applied sciences, or allied sciences, you need to be very well read. To make an educated opinion on a particular topic, you need to have read all the recent research in that particular topic. Only then you can give an educated opinion. Okay. Now, here are a few reference papers that I have taken to share with you. And you can see these are on CRISPR. Now, what is CRISPR? CRISPR is a large genome editing technology, which is used in, therapeutically for curing of sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. Now, you will be amazed to know that not many people knew about CRISPR as a large genome editing technology, although a huge progress had been made till it was published as an article in Financial Times when it said CRISPR Therapeutics treats the first human gene with gene editing. So you have to understand that, sometimes a lot of work gets done before something is available in the market as a vaccine or as a therapeutic mode. And all the content, the real-time content of this is available in research papers, which you should read and refer to. Yes, not newspaper articles or, public database or websites, but original research papers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you which should be your go-to site. Yes, they should be PubMed or Google Scholar. Now, many of you may be using Scopus or Web of Science, but I would suggest that please go to use Google Scholar because they are well authenticated and well within the student's reach. Okay. Now, when I want to access PubMed, this is how the PubMed address looks like, and this is the scan QR code. And this is the PubMed homepage. Now, I'd like to thank my team here because they've updated all my slides so that I can, see the updated version. Now, on the homepage, you can see there is a space wherein you put your search criteria. Yes, you put your search criteria, whether it is a phenomena that you want to find out or about a particular disease, or it's about, in general, whatever information you want, you define it here. So let's take that with an example. So I take by using a search for protein kinase C. And when I type that into my search window, I find that there are thousands of references that the public database zeros or narrows down on. However, what I want you to note is, if I put it on Google, can you see Wikipedia is also listed as one of the sources. So next time you access it, please be aware of what I have told you today. Yes. So when I search for protein kinase C on Google Scholar, again, I have thousands of references. However, when I put protein kinase C and tumor suppressor, I find that it has narrowed down my search result to about 869 references. Yes, which means it has narrowed down my search from few thousands or many thousands to just about 800 papers, which again is very difficult for anybody to access. Now what I do is I put my two terms, which are protein kinase C, tumor suppressor, and I also put the name of the author. Yes, now you'll be very surprised to see there are only 9 references that has narrowed down from my search. Now it's quite easy for me to read 9 references. Yes, Rohit, I can see you've raised your hand. If there's any question, please be kind enough to put it in the chat window and we will be addressing it at the end of the session. Okay, this is an open suggestion to all of you. Please type out your questions in the chat window. We have a moderator and a host, Dr. Raja, who will be making note of all the questions and we will be addressing them at the end of the session. Now, supposing I changed my connector. If I changed my connector, yes, and instead of an and or an or, I used a comma. So I say protein kinase C, tumor suppressor, and the name of the author, but I have used a comma. Can you see? I can see the same 9 results. See, I will go back to my slide and show you that I can see the same 9 results. Okay. Now, supposing I wanted to look for a disease like diabetes mellitus. Now, if I want to look for a disease like diabetes mellitus, I type it out in my search window. And again, I have thousands of, references that have been, that have been showed up in my references. Now, if I want to make specific, searches where I want to look for a particular author, I may know the full name of the author or the last name of the author or the author affiliation. Even then, I can, put that in my search criteria. And as a keyword, it will, the database will remove all the publications that are creditable for this particular author.